Hello and welcome to our Saturday stream. I'm Josh, and this is our Fantasy Grounds Unity map and image creation. We do this stream every week, or most every week, on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and we run till just about 6 o'clock. Here we talk about all of the image-related news, what's going on behind the scenes, as well as do lots of demonstrations and tutorials on how to maximize your map creation inside of Fantasy Grounds Unity. So thanks everyone for joining me today. We're going to be doing a special Halloween event. We're going to actually be creating, in addition to what we have been working on, and we're going to take a small little section over here, and we're going to jump right in and create a nice little element over there. So it should be super fun. We're going to do like a cemetery, the interior of this temple, and so on. We're going to make it really spooky. So it should be, as I said, super fun here. Let me just turn down something here really quick. There we are. That's much better. All right. Let's get right into it. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm actually going to take a section of this map, and I am going to, since we have the base of it already kind of constructed here, this is the area we're going to be working in. I'm going to make a duplicate of this map and then get rid of everything except for the area that we're going to be working on, and then we can kind of zoom in and start to add in lots of different little elements, as well as kind of add all the decorative kind of nature and whatnot. So let me just close this down. We're going to go into our images area here. Let me just show you how we're going to do this. So here we have the town map, so I'm just going to grab it and drop it to make a copy of it here. And when I open this up, I'm going to rename it so that we can, here it is. And we'll open this up. And we'll actually do Town of Unity, and then we'll do this temple. And we can actually, if we open up the other, oh, we don't want the regional one. We want this one. And I'm going to grab this link and drop it right on here. And we can just add it just like that. So we can have an easy access to it here. So now I can get rid of a lot of these other elements, right? We want to keep some of the ground. Basically, we're just going to be, let me switch over to this area here. So these surrounding areas that we want to keep, we certainly can. But we can get rid of everything else in this, all of this area. So we can get rid of all of our water. So I'm just going to hit delete on that whole section. And I think we'll get rid of a lot of the effects layers and so on as well. And a lot of the ground elements, as I said. We can kind of pick which ones that we're going to keep here. So we can get rid of these. Yeah, we'll keep that one. Yeah, we'll keep that one for now. We don't need that. There, and we can, I will be erasing a lot of these other elements as well. So we'll need this one still, and this one. And now we can jump into our little eraser tool, and I'm going to make this quite large, and we can just start to erase all of the elements that are outside of our area over here. And this will save us a lot of time trying to reproduce all the different elements that we might want to do. And we can get rid of, oh, it's there. Is that, I wonder which, yeah, that's there. And now we can go into our rocks area here. And again, I can make this quite large, and we can just kind of erase all of this stuff that we don't need. I think we'll actually just get rid of these effects layers for right now. And then in our plants, again, we'll do the same kind of thing here. We don't need any of these plants. And then we can go into our structures. And we can delete this layer. And here is our main structures area. And so we can just start to get rid of all of this stuff. And I'm actually going to delete all of these as well. And now we can delete all of our, we can actually just delete that entire layer to mess around with that too much. And I'm going to delete my shadows because we're going to be doing a little bit different kind of interaction there. And this is all of these elements, so we can delete all of that. Here we have our trees, and again, I'm just going to come in here and make this a little bit smaller. I think I'll keep this grouping over here. And we can delete our highlights here. Great. Basically taking everything down. And we have one other, it looks like a effects layer here. Or it's actually probably our shadows, right? Nice. And you can see that was yes, we could have totally just started from the beginning. But here we're just going to duplicate a section Or we're not going to really duplicate it, but we're just going to take out a little section here, and here if we go to our objects, we can also just remove this. And this way, it'll be an exact match. So that we can just kind of build it up from here. Yeah, this is going to work well. And so I'm going to switch over and into our ground area here. Let's duplicate that. And I'm going to flip it over here and just drop it like this. Or actually, let's put it over here. And we can actually grab both of these and duplicate them. And we're going to build this out into a nice little cemetery. And here we'll flip them this way. We might even want to just not have these ones here at the bottom. Well, no, we do. We do want them for a little bit of involvement over here, I think. And in, I think it's this layer that has all of, yeah. I'll just put fences, that's fine. And here we'll do main structures here. And I'm just going to move this over, and we can open up our assets now. And I think that this fence is in the cemetery art package, so we can move right into that. And we're going to be using that a lot today. And I think I'm going to re-situate this a little bit. So I think I'm going to actually start this all over here. So let's just erase this fence. Oh, we should put in a little gate here. We'll erase a little section to place in a gate there. I think that's a good idea. And we can do some little like stone pathways and whatnot. I think that'll be fun. Before we get going too much further, I'm just going to fix this little element right here. Go into our ground textures. And we can go into the 2019 art package here. Let's type in grass. And hold down A, and I'm just going to drop that down a little bit. Break up some of this a little. We might even want to add in our road here a little bit once again. I think we used this one. I'll actually do it on this layer. Well, we should probably do it on the same one. I can just line it right up here. And we'll just kind of fade it off here. Alrighty. Got all of our base elements all done here. We start to do lots of cool decorative things as well. It looks like we got a little shadow over here. So I think the first thing we'll do is change the scaling here. Might be a little bit more appropriate. We might even want to go, depending on what we want this or how we want this to interact with, how large we want this to be, and so on. But we'll leave it there for right now. And I think with a single image like this, if we want to add in additional kind of outline, we can do that as well. But I want to do a bunch of like decorative kind of elements on this. Make it really feel a little bit more like an important building. And I'm going to add in some of these. Oh, let's go back to our painting area here. I think we'll do that even underneath. Maybe something like this. Yeah, that's going to work well like that. Let's see here. Maybe we'll do something like this along the front here. Well, maybe we'll do it at a slight angle here. Maybe what we'll actually do as well is make it a little bit more narrow. Oh, whoops. Want to make sure we do it in the main structure area here. And we have some fences here that we can add in over to our area over there. Let's do... Actually, you know what? Let's do it. We'll do one... kind of want to do one of them open and one of them a little shut. Maybe we'll do it at a little bit of an angle like this. Then I think we can use maybe an obelisk here. Let's grab this one. So how's everyone doing today? You guys excited about Halloween? I love this time of year. Great. Now we have all kinds of different kind of elements that we can use here, and then we can add a lot of different shadows and whatnot to really bring out a little bit of the shape here. I wonder if there's any stairs or any steps. Yeah. I might actually go back in here and readjust this. Yeah, why don't we do that? And we can create an effects layer here, and I'll start to put in a little bit more detailed shadows here. Oh yeah, the new book that just came out, right? And I'm going to grab this. We're going to go into this layer. So I think we're going to make this super spooky, right? Like we can change all of our kind of elements here. We want to have that really atmospheric elements that kind of go on here. And we can go into our objects area, and this is where we're going to paint in all of our gravestones and whatnot. Whoops. And we can even drag and drop some of these plots in. Might want to make this a bit smaller. And what I'll do is I'm going to kind of place these around here. I'm going to create a few different layers of these. And I'm going to sporadically do this with a general kind of feeling in mind. To maximize my efficiency here, I will try to put down a bunch that are similar. Let's do some that are a little bit at a slight angle too. And we'll do some that are a little bit off kilter here. As the ground changes its shape, they get pushed out of where they originally were. We should do some that are like empty graves, like holes dug. Grab this one. And I think we'll set up a couple of crypts over here. We'll have to do some other trees and plants and whatnot. This is going to be so much fun. Actually, I want this one. And we should do some that are like knocked over too, right? I think that's plenty for now. Whoop. Yes, broken ones, absolutely. And we have some nice like crack brushes and whatnot, and I'll show you guys how to use these as well. Oh, hello, Philip. All right, let's get into our, I think, into our decorations here. And here we can start to put together all of our different constructions. We want to put in a couple of obelisks. We have a bunch of like these sarcophagi and so on. Oh, did you send me emails? I'll have to check. I would never put you in my junk folder. It's Google for sure. Let me see. There you are, right in the spam. You're the spam. I'll have to read it at the end of my stream. So we can grab some of these elements as well. Kind of place these around. But let's build, let's do like a crypt kind of entrance down here. Actually, let's just grab something like this, I think. Or maybe, yeah, let's do this one. Oh, I don't want to do this in objects. Let's go up. Make this 4x4. I think what we can do here is actually use one of these gated kind of entrances. But I'm just going to put it underneath that structure. So I think if we do something like that, yeah. And then we'll build out a little bit more of a platform. I might actually get rid of these ones on the side here. And instead do something that kind of just pokes out on either side here. Like we could actually probably do another layer of this just a little bit smaller. Well, let's see what else we have here. Yeah, maybe just something like this. Yeah, that's cool. And we can do some like shrubbery and brushes and bushes and whatnot that kind of grow up around the edges there. We'll have these like two kind of entrances on either side. And then maybe we'll do the interior with like steps going down and have like a whole bunch of crypts and whatnot. That sounds fun. Next thing we're going to do is we have a whole bunch of this kind of stuff as well. We can go into these main structures and we can add in additional cracks and whatnot to the tops of these buildings. And one of the great things that we can do with this is further augment them. And we can even do these on some of these stones, right? And here we have a nice little brush for doing, this will be in our ground texture for doing our little mounds, our graves. And I'm actually going to make that 2. And we'll make it a little bit wider, something like this. So how's Philip doing? Staying busy? How's the weather over there? It's getting cold here. Yeah. We'll be getting snow before long. Ooh, the aurora. That's exciting. And I'm just going to place the rest of these. I'm not going to be too picky about it. Just get this part done and move on to some of the more interesting stuff here. Maybe we'll do a couple of these around. Let's actually do it from the effects. We'll do one of these. Actually, you know what? Let's put this down in the ground texture area here. And then we can grab some of, oops, I keep doing that. Some of these sarcophagi. I could just type in then we'll put a little like fence around this area. Oh, I don't want to put it on that. I want to put it up here. This layer, So I think what I'll actually do is we'll do these structures just like the main areas with this. And I'll show you. We'll go back into our shadow area here. Let's grab our little brush. And we'll drop this right down. Maybe make this 150. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to change the shape of this. And I'm going to set it at a particular size and angle here. Let's make it a little bit wider. Yeah, something like this. And I might want to even increase that. That's a little bit too dark, I think. And I'm just going to do a little bit of an ambient kind of shadow that comes off of those. Oh, that's about, I'm going to put that down below. Awesome. I think we'll do something about like this. Oh, and you know what we should do? Ground fog. And we'll drop this down in underneath our structures like this. And we'll add a mask. And what we'll do is we'll just block out some areas. And then we'll blur that. And then we'll blur it right out. We can adjust, we can add in more shadow, maybe drop that down a little so you get this nice kind of ambience that goes through there. See, by breaking it up here, we might even want to make that like 51. And drop it down to something like this. Now maybe we'll just do the whole thing. We might even want to put our fences under it. Maybe do like this. Or here. Figure out what works best. Yeah, maybe what I'll do is do something like this. Blur it out from there. Yeah, play around with it. Oh, we might actually want to do, on top of that, do like a color adjust, or maybe even time of day. Like this. And we'll drop this down in here. Yeah, maybe what we'll do is we'll do the time of day on top of everything. And we can drop down the amount that it affects. Yeah, that's a pretty cool. Let's drop down the opacity of our grid too. It's definitely starting to get a really nice kind of Halloween feel. And now we can add in maybe in the structures area here. We have these like lanterns on the front here, so we can add in some torches. All right, Philip, thanks for stopping by. I will read your email right as soon as I finish my stream. And we'll I think we'll drop those down. Let's make them only like 3, maybe even 2. Let's drop down our dim. And maybe we'll increase our fall off here. So we have a little bit more of a gradient there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then we'll do some line of sight on the buildings, and that will alleviate this kind of stuff here. But it's kind of cool, right? Well, having light shining up on there. Maybe we'll leave it. We could have these to be windows and maybe light coming from the inside. All right, let's get into doing some additional plants. I want to kind of make this feel like it's grown up, especially around like the fence. And then through here, we'll do lots of different bushes and whatnot. I want to do a couple of these graves like open. We want to build up some of the different foliage and whatnot. So I'm actually going to go into not 2. That hasn't come out yet. So in case you guys were wondering, this next month's releases is going to be a continuation of the Abandoned Places, so Abandoned Places 2, and a new jungle art package. And so if you let's see here, you got lots of cool new elements for Abandoned Places here, like an ambulance and lots of all kinds of cool stuff. Lots of cool new brushes and things as well. And it really goes well with the initial kind of thing here. But the plants in here. Whoop. Are going to work really well here. I want to use this one primarily. And I'm going to do this not only just here, but I'm going to create another plant. I'm going to do this above structures so that I can kind of create this like coming up over, like growing up over some of this stuff. Like coming out from under and over. Might even, I think I'll just put it up here. And see what we can do is kind of have this light coming through the fence. And then we can jump over here and we can do a small, like just kind of coming up over this stuff. And this will be up above the fog layer as well. We can do some in and around these gravestones. I'm going to make this one a little bit more oblong. My nose is all itchy. And we can grab some of these other plants as well. Let's grab some of these flowery plants. Oh, let's actually grab this one. This is all like viney, and this is great for doing stuff like coming out from underneath these buildings. Layered on top of that stuff. It makes it feel like it's all twisted and tangled and gnarled. We could literally, oh man, I could just go on and on with this. Building this stuff up. We could do each individual little area. Oh, it's so much fun. Do you guys get lost while you're creating your little areas here? I should probably place in some trees before we get going too far here. We have all these nice little patches of like this stuff. I like to drop these down. We can put this right in our texture area here. And we have lots of fun little plants here. I'm just going to type in tree. And we can go back in. We'll have to go into our different elements. And as we move in and start doing more and more of these, we have to this way. We can add back in all of these shadows very quickly here. Probably do one for that whole line of fence there. And we can actually paint in some of the shadows we'll have to. Very cool. Moving right along here. You know what we should do? We should do a line of maybe we'll do a couple of like posts with some lanterns on them and whatnot. And we can actually move in. We could change our ambient light here a little bit. We could, depending on what we want to do here, we might even want to change the color here a little bit. And if we want to see what, yeah, we're in the view. This is exactly how our players are going to see it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's add in, I think that we have some really cool kind of ones in the Goblin Camp. Let's go, I think I can just type in post. Yeah, those are a little bit too, let's just do a general one here. I think we'll do something like this. This is from the coastal map pack. And I'll do this right in the fences layer here. Or maybe we want to have it like sticking up out of the fog. What do you guys think? I think we'll do one. Maybe like here. I want to make sure we're in our stamp here. Maybe we'll do it out, like one out here. And then we'll grab like a lantern like this. It's like it's hanging off of them. And let's add, we'll do it, I think the size of a candle. We want it to be kind of spooky, right? We don't want it to be too... And I'll just actually grab all of those. And we'll change some of this fall off here a little bit. Maybe we'll even maybe something like this. Yeah. Then when we check that out, yeah, that's going to be much more atmospheric, right? It's like each one kind of just is outside of the range of the others. Very cool. Well, there's the base of it. I'm actually going to grab, go into my shadows area here. Let's grab, oh, make sure we switch over to our painting tab here. And I'm going to do some large kind of ambient shadows on the ground here. Let's drop down our ground fog here a little bit more. Make it a little bit more subtle. We'll come in through here. And maybe we'll do a little bit of shadow coming out of these entrances. And I think I'm actually going to go by ground texture. And again, I'm going to grab, let's grab a little bit of this grass. Super cool. And let's go into, I'm actually going to go back into the places and grab this rhyme element. I'm going to go right on top of these main structures and drop down that opacity. And we can always turn off our lighting system. I'm going to see how it looks in different elements here. And I'm just kind of moving around and clicking just randomly, creating a little bit of extra. And see, we can let's turn off these for a moment. That's our shadow there. We can turn off our cloud area there. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I'm going to blend in these graves a little bit more. Fix those. So I'll turn those off for right now. I think what I'll do is build up a little bit more. I think we'll go right over the top of them. It's this one. And I'll just use this to kind of blend it in a little. That's a little bit too much. Let's back some of that off. Hello, Rob. Let's grab, let's go into our, grab one of these grass elements here. I'm just going to build up a few of these layers. Just going to make that these a little bit more subtle. And also add a little bit more texture here. Some of it's a little bit too smooth through here. Yeah, very cool. And now when we turn this stuff back on, let's see. And we'll re-enable our lighting system. And yeah, that's going to work quite a bit better. See, it's still have them there. They're just a lot more subtle, not so abrupt. We might even want to, I might even go into my effects layer here. We might even want to readjust this even a little bit more. I think we'll make that a little bit larger there, yeah. We'll make the ambience. Why don't we do that maybe like 4? 3 is better, I think. Yeah, let's do. Great. So what should we do next? Should we do the interior of our temple here? Or should we do an underground element like down into the crypts and whatnot? What do you guys think? We have underground elements and we have temple. What should we do? I think that was a little bit too fast. So let's make it like 56. Yeah, maybe even 55. Well, I think, why don't we do skeletons and zombies everywhere? Underground, we got 2 for underground. Let's, and also I want to do one of these areas too. I'm going to make it into a, so in our siege, we have these, we have more textures, but we have these elements. We can really easily adapt these to create some nice little like this. And what I'll do is just change the shape of it here. Maybe we want to make sure we're in our stamp tool. That's a little bit too intrusive, I think. Make it a little bit larger though. We'll do like a pile of dirt next to it. Drop down the opacity a little. Oh yeah, we could do some pumpkins. I don't think we need any ballistas or anything. And then we can exaggerate this a little bit more. Bring a nice little shadow in there. And we should also do maybe a couple of dead trees. I'll just grab these ones. Well, maybe we'll do. Maybe that's a little bit too over the top. Do some pumpkins. All right, we'll do a little underground area. Maybe we'll do like entrance to the crypt here. And I'll actually build it over to the side, on this side. But we could also do our line of sight on these buildings and whatnot as well. Let's see here. What would be some cool elements to kind of add? Yeah, let's do that. We'll do the interior of this crypt, and what we'll do is we'll just have it kind of enter, and then there'll just be like steps leading down. So we'll start off with steps, and then kind of break it down into, and we'll have a combination of like earthen elements and also like stone walls and whatnot. So I'll grab actually a new let's go into the 2019 art pack, and I'll grab yeah, this one. Just kind of drop this out. This will be our background area. Or actually, you know what? You know what would be better is if we go into our underground art package. And in this background, we have ones that might be better for us. It's got a little bit of a stone kind of texture. And I'm going to drop it right over here. Maybe I'll make it a little bit larger. What do you think? We'll do like 30 by 30. Give us a little bit of room to work with. And like I said, we'll start off. I think what we should do is, you think we should have one large open area, or should we have lots of like tunnels and whatnot? And what we should do is we should have all kinds of cool ground fog in here as well. So let's go into our cloud here. All right, so I think what we'll do is we'll do like a little tunnel that leads down, and we'll have a large open area and then a couple little offshoots. How about that? So inside of here, I'm going to go into my effects, and I'm going to grab a couple of these. We'll go right into these textured layers here. And I'm just going to kind of drop a couple of these around. Actually, let's turn off some of this stuff for right now. And I'm just going to break up some of this stone texture with a little bit of other stuff here. And we'll start off with, like I said, we'll do a little area that's leading down. We have all of these for our earthen kind of elements. But let's do some like stone wall here. And I think we'll use something like this. And let's use a brush. I think that'll work good for what we're trying to do. Yeah, let's use this one. Or maybe that one. Yeah, maybe this one is a little bit better. And I'm going to turn up the opacity of my grid, because I'm actually going to snap to the grid here a little bit. And I'm going to leave a little open area here for where it's going to kind of come down. So a little bit away from the wall. And this will be the area that leads kind of down into, oh, I don't want to do this in my texture area here. I'm going to do this in the main structure line here. What I'm thinking what we'll do is what we'll do. Oh, you know what would be cool? I think that I have a good idea. Let's let me line that up a little bit better. We'll do like this main kind of chamber, and then we'll have little like areas in the wall that's been broken into or maybe out of. And then that leads into some additional kind of elements here. Yeah, that'll work good. And then we can erase out a couple of spots. And then we'll have, like we'll do bits of broken stone or whatnot that's kind of fallen in. And then we'll do like regular kind of dirt tunnels coming out here. I think that that'll work really well. And so I'll go into the underground art package here. I'm going to do this underneath. So let's go into the fences one. And that way I can just kind of pretty well line this up. something like this. Or maybe what we'll actually do is have it connect in through here. Awesome. What I'll do now is I'll actually grab, I think it's in the walls area here, yeah, this little stone filler, and I'm going to fill in these areas. I like to do this, and you certainly don't have to, and it's not going to really affect the rest of, or how your players view it. But this way, when I'm looking at it, especially as like a DM, it gives me a really quick and easy kind of way to see what is the interior and what is unused kind of space around it. So have you guys been finding lots of cool stuff on the Forge? Yeah, we'll just do this kind of haphazardly and quickly here. Great. And I think what we'll actually do too is we might as well go into our clouds area here, and we can just hide all of this stuff. We don't need to have any of this. Great, we have our whole little underground area here, and we'll be blocking all of our line of sight off and whatnot. Nope, it doesn't. So the way that this system works, if you guys are unfamiliar with it, so stamping down, so I'm using the same image and I might have stamped it, let's say 100 times. The way that the system actually works is when we send this image out to our players, it only sends this image one time. And these are set up in a very small kind of file format. So included with that is the metadata, just where I've placed it and so on and so forth, which is basically just a small amount of information, and then it gets recreated on the other side. So it's very little impact on the system, and very little impact on your network as well. And now we can put in some crypts in here and whatnot. So let's go back into our cemetery art package. And I think we'll do, maybe we'll do a little bit of different on the floor as well. So here we have a nice little tile here. I think we'll maybe stamp this down. I'm going to drop down the opacity a little bit. Maybe we'll do a little bit larger and drop down the opacity a little bit more, make it really like subtle. Yeah, like that. When we turn back on all of our cool elements here, you can see we're starting to develop. Hey, let's bring this back down. For our Halloween atmosphere. And I'm going to do some cracks on the floor here. I'll actually use the crack brush here. Maybe we'll increase the opacity there a little bit. And we can, let's add in some of our decorations here. Let's put in some sarcophagi. We'll do some that are standing up along the edges here. So I'm going to go into make sure I have my stamp tool selected. And we'll do some setting out too. Oh, hello. Yes, it will. Maximus. It'll be available on Twitch, YouTube. And then we can grab some of these ones. I think we'll grab Maybe this one. Place this one like here. Maybe we'll make it a little bit larger. And we have some coffins as well. Let's do closed ones here. And maybe we'll do like one open one. And we'll do like a skeleton inside. Or maybe we'll do, yeah, let's do this one. It's like, yeah, once we do our shadows and whatnot, that'll be cool. We could do like bones scattered on the floor and whatnot. And I'm going to go into, I believe this wall came from the goblin camp. Yeah, that's this one. So I'm going to type in rock. I'm going to grab some of these rocks and we're going to do both above and below here. Make this kind of feel like it was broken into, or the wall was at one time. And let's go below as well here. Yeah. We'll do some scattered stones around. Perfect. And then we could also go, let's go back into the underground art package. And in our effects here, we have some of these like stone stuff. I'm going to go back down into the textures, drop down my opacity a little bit here, and we'll make this kind of feel like it is not so refined. Yeah, so in our goblin package here, and let's create, let's actually go in here and do a little bit of ambient light down here. I'm going to actually make, let's do it maybe kind of blue-green. And we'll turn the flicker to none. And I'm going to increase the dim area to maybe like 5. Once we do our line of sight, all of this will kind of fix itself here a little bit. We'll drop down the opacity so it's just like this subtlety here. And let's increase the fall off there. And let's actually get rid of, so we don't have any of that brightness, just this. Make it. This whole area just has like this little bit of ambient light in there. Maybe some sort of evil glow. And we can add in some these little bit of shadow here. That might be a little bit too much in here. Let's just paint them in and do them a little bit more subtle. I'll grab my little element here. I think I'm just going to drop that down quite a bit more. I really just want these corners to feel dark. These little entrances feel like they're going into the darkness. That might be a little bit too much. Yeah, very cool. What do you guys think? And then I'm going to grab some stone steps. Maybe something like this, I think, will work well. And this will be our little entrance area down through. Maybe I might make it a little bit wider, actually. Doesn't want to go anywhere. It's happy right where it is. Thanks, Bone Shooter. And this will be, the entrance will be actually over here. And we'll set up our line of sight so that all of this gets included in that. right? Like we'll set up a little bit of a barrier here so no one's going to be able to see, and then you can just transfer your players once they go down into the cryptid area down here. And you know what I think I'll do is actually go into here. Let's go for I guess maybe into our cemetery once again. And I think we can grab one of these maybe stone slabs. Then maybe we'll even expand that out a little bit at the bottom there. And then back into the underground art package here. And I'll just blend that in. We'll kind of have a fade. Yeah, very cool. Ooh, you know what else we should do from here? Let's go into our decorations here. We have like mushrooms and stuff we can put in there. Oh, great. I'm happy that I'm able to expand your knowledge base a little bit in this area. Let's do some of these. Creeping out from underneath the edges here. Oh, that's awesome. Let's grab some of these mushrooms. Oh, that's great, Bone Shooter. Oh, yes. Very nice. Alrighty. Anything else you think we should add to this? Let's do our line of sight. And I'm actually going to make a separate wall layer for this. And I think I'm actually going to, instead of using walls for this stuff, I think I'm going to do terrain. Yeah, these ones do. But you know what we should do, actually, before we move on? We should change them, because they're all at 100. So we should make them different amounts. So it's not so uniform. The reason why I want to do, instead of walls, I'm going to do terrain, is because I want these structures to be able to be seen. And then we can do, I think I'll actually do a wall around the entire outside here. And that's going to prevent anyone from being able to see into this area. And then here we can just tie in right here. Perfect. And now let's grab our little buddy. Oh, we got a whole bunch of different people in here today. No Bob. We'll grab Johnny. And everything seems to be functioning quite well. Kind of move around, and as you can see, what this allows him to do is to see the building. He can't see the front of this because it's lower. Let's see, we have a question here. Oh, hello there. Hey, Steph. Let's see. I understand that they block the view, but they prevent a miniature within this area from being seen by anyone outside of this region. So are you talking about on the inside like this? One of the reasons why I like to use them, especially for exteriors like this, is a couple of different reasons. And one is if this character decides to climb to the top, it now gives him complete view from up here. Whereas if I did this with a wall, it would not. But no, it doesn't. If somebody is on the inside, right? So let's say, for example, here's our NPC. My NPC can see Johnny, and Johnny can see the NPC. If he wasn't unable to see it, it would be grayed out. As you can see, it gets grayed out. See how it's grayed out? So you have total vision. I would not do this if I planned to do the interior as well. Right? So if I do the interior of this building and I want it all on one map, I would go about this in a completely different way. But this is just for quick little functionality. And you can do, one of the things that it does not do is it doesn't block movement. Yeah, so there's a couple of ways you can get around that. So we can add in additional elements in the same space. So if I want to block movement but not vision, I can go right over here, and then we have a couple of different ways that we can do that, but I would use a window. And I can toggle off is toggleable, so I could make it so it's not turned off. And I can actually mimic this exact same thing, and the window will not block any sort of vision whatsoever, but it will block all movement. So I can use it as like an invisible barrier to stop all movement through it. And then as a GM, all I have to do is grab the token and hold down shift. So let me just demonstrate, right? So I will add in, well, let's do it all on the same layer here. This window element, which is going to be yellow. I didn't quite click in the right spot, so let's line that all up. So here, when I switch back and I have Bob here, right? He can no longer move up there. It's completely blocked to him until I grab him, and I have to hold down shift, and then I can put him on top. So what I'm actually doing is using two different occluder elements to get my desired effect. So now they can see this, but they can't move through it. So we can do lots and lots of different stuff depending on how we interact with all the different occluders. I did the same thing kind of over here, right? So here I have two separate occluder elements, one for this section and then one for the entirety of it. And what that does is it means that because this is taller, it's going to block the vision of that front area. So as you can see, it's all grayed out. You cannot see that. But when on the front side, he's going to be able to see the entire building, this and this, just not what's behind it. So you can do a lot of really inventive kind of things. I use pits and all the different types of occluders to mimic elevation elements and do all kinds of fun stuff. But yeah, that's a good point, Bruno. It's good to discuss that stuff. And then as let's grab our good buddy Bob and move him into our little area over here and see how he interacts. I think, where is the, I'm going to move him in here. No, we want to move him there. That's where we want to move him. And let's reset his fog of war here. Turn back on our player vision here, and now you can see what he's going to see as he goes down. And we can adjust this too. I could take away all of that. Oh yes, well we can kind of, yeah, you're right. But we can kind of facsimile, create a facsimile of it using the pit and other types of occluders. And then we can emerge, and he would actually be emerging from like this side or the other side. And so like a fence like this, right, like this wrought iron fence, we can actually go back into our occluders, and we can again use the window, and we can make it the toggleable nature of it. We can remove that so it doesn't really interfere with us. And then we could come in and make this an impassable fence unless we allow it to be so. And just for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to do it this way really quickly, just so I can demonstrate this. But here it's not going to ever block any sort of vision, but it will block all movement. And we could do the same thing if we want to have all these elements here impassable. We can just use that. And you see it doesn't interfere with the map at all because we've turned off that toggleable nature. But here we've created a completely oh, very cool. Yeah, I absolutely love Fantasy Grounds. I might be a little biased, but it is my I just enjoy it so much working inside of it. Yeah, so if you do you have a specific situation you're talking about, Bruno? Yeah, I know. I hope that we'll be able to adjust that. In addition, but yes. Well, we're kind of winding down the stream. We've made this entire map today, which has been great. So much fun. I'm just gonna delete all my tokens here. We've created a really cool little environment here for our Halloween. And this is going to fit right in with our other stuff very well. So go into our town of Unity here. And so far we've created oh, you're very welcome. We've created our regional map for the area. All kinds of cool stuff here. And we've set up all of our links. We can even close down this other one. And this is our actual map that we've created for our town. And then here is our little cemetery area. We changed it a little bit, expanded it out slightly. Well, it would be toggleable. So let's pull this up again, and I'll go back into this. This is not the right way to kind of set this up for what you're trying to do. It has to be connected, right? Like you can't do just or as far as I know. Let's try. So you can't just, oh yeah, you can just do a line. But if you want it to be toggleable, then yes, it'll be toggleable. But what I would actually do if I was really doing this, because we're going to have a gate here, we want to leave this open, I would actually do a double line there. But we could probably just get away with doing it like this. If we wanted to. And we could probably even tie it in with our building here. We might even want to do this way. And then again, we could grab Scooby this time. And he'll not be able to go through that. Oh, went right through the gate. And because it's not toggleable, it doesn't interfere with, there's no map interaction. And here we have none of that, so it's completely accessible. So each one of these, if you want to go, if you guys are unfamiliar, you know the walls block all movement and all vision from the edge of it, right? And then terrain doesn't block any sort of vision into the object, but just on the other side of it. And it doesn't block any sort of movement whatsoever. And then we have our door, which is a toggleable kind of wall, right, that we can click on and off. We can do that for our doors, for example. A toggleable wall works very much like a door, except it is not seen by the players, right? So we can do it all of our secret doors and whatnot, which means only the GM can toggle it on and off. And it'll interact with the player exactly like a wall. We just demonstrated the window, and we can have the window toggleable as well, so that obviously you can open a window and come through. Illusory walls only block vision and no movement. And so it works just like a wall, except for no movement blocking. And then we have our pit, which our pit is very interesting because it kind of goes along what Bruno was saying. It's a one-sided, so you can see into it, but not out of it. You can move into it, but not out of it. So I use it a lot for elevation. And each of those elements is toggleable. So you can just block vision and so on. And then we have the shadow caster, and this only interacts with the lighting system. And it only, basically exactly what it says. It casts a shadow and nothing else. But here we have our wonderful map that we made for our Halloween Fantasy Grounds stream. Do you guys have any other questions, or is there anything else that I could answer for you guys? Otherwise, I think we'll call it for the day. Oh, so Bruno says, in an adventure of Rollmaster, we faced orcs in a terrain with several levels of height, and the situation and the subscription looked like a pro cartographer and image maker in no time. Oh, whoops! It jumped up. And the situation we wanted to simulate was who is on top sees the. Oh yeah, you can do that with the system as it is now. Yes, this is available, and it is the Modern Dark theme. It's included in the art subscription, or it can be purchased. Yeah. And the sidebar here, the way that this is interacting with, this is the new sidebar changes that are coming. This is already in test. If you get there, you can go into the test channel and check it out. Otherwise, it will be going live here pretty soon. So I'll do let me do a quick little demonstration, or I might even have a map that's already set up that way. Let's see here. I think that if we go into this waterfall, yeah. So here, but I think that this is a kind of like a really simple version of it, and you can do it in several steps. And I'll make this a little bit more complex to kind of show you guys the interaction here. Let's close down some of these other ones so we don't need to have them open. And again, we'll grab, well, let's do a couple of different levels of elevation. Let's say we want to have this elevation and so on. And so I've used a pit to encase this entire area. And what that means is that while in the pit, you can't see out of it, but outside of the pit, you can see into it. And so this is a really good way for us to create lots of different levels of elevation. Here, I'm gonna do another one. And so let's say, for example, we want to see. Let's just say that this is more of an elevation over here that you can't see on top of, right? All I have to do is, let me make sure that I click in that box. I'm going to line this up with the rest of my element here. And I'm going to go along and just attach it to all of these here. We can double these up and they will, it works. I missed there, but that's okay. And now I'm going to grab my little guy here. Let's grab Scooby. And let's make sure we have our player the way that our player sees. And so here you can see inside of this area, he's not going to be able to see what's on top, but he is going to be able to see everything that's around. And then as it moves up into the different levels of elevation, boom, he's going to be able to see what's here, but still not what's on top, but he can still see what's down below. And then once he gets up into here, boom, he's going to be able to see not only what's on top, but what's below as well. So with a little bit of interaction with all of the different elements, you can come up with some pretty clever ways to do a lot of the elevation. And if we were to demonstrate this in a really simple kind of way here. Yep, yes it does. So let's create a new image here. Nice blank space for us. And I'll just grab, not a module, an asset. Simple background here. And we'll go into our we'll add some line of sight here. Here we have a pit. I'm just going to do this with circles, right? So here we have one like this. And let's say that this is some sort of pit with several different layers to it, right? And if we were doing this for a hill, I'll show that next. We'll do that, and we'll handle that a little bit differently. But here, what we can do is let's grab Lisa, and we'll turn on our line of sight. We don't really need to worry about lighting at the moment. But as Lisa moves into the different layers of this, right, it's going to get less and less vision because each one expands or constricts its own, not into the next, because you're seeing into them. So a large pit that has like a circular kind of thing, you could do this. Where this is a raised elevation. You're going down into different elements. So let's say you want it to be reversed. You want it to be here, and you want the outside, you want to be able to see the outside, right, as you progress here. So we'll switch over, and I'll grab these. We'll delete these. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. If you want this to be a raised kind of element, well, you can do it with the terrain. So let's do terrain here. And we can do this with several layers of terrain. Let's say that this is a hill. You can see that the way that Lisa interacts, well, I would set this up a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit wonky here. You can see as she goes up, now she can see everything that's out and around. And as it moves down, she's only going to be able to see this side of the hill and this side and that side. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can do reverse pits here. You can do a pit around the entire outside, right, with a double kind of line here. It will get a little bit wonky because there's no way to like remove an area from the middle so that it's just on the outside. But there's lots of different ways that you can kind of interact with these systems to kind of figure that stuff out. But yeah, you can experiment around. Oh yes, yeah. So when you do a circle, if people are unaware, you can hold down Alt and it will grow out. And if you hold down Shift, it'll remain, it'll keep its aspect lock ratio. You can now pull out from the center. Let's say you want it to come out of like this center right here, holding down Alt. You can make sure that you can grow it exactly from where you wish. And that works in the painting area as well. You can also, in the effects, in the line of sight here, if you're doing a line, you can hold down Shift and it will only go at right or 45-degree angles, 90 or 45. Which will make doing like structures and whatnot so much easier. So hopefully that will give you guys some insight into lots of different ways that you can kind of interact with the systems. You guys have any other questions or anything that I can... Not for a line of sight, no. It's only so if you're doing the grid, but with the new system here, it's really super easy to do. So all you do is zoom in, start your line, zoom out, and then you have to. It doesn't snap to the grid with control like painting does, but it makes it very easy. See, that's pretty close. Yeah, absolutely. So the question is, if they were to sub like the art subscription, and you can certainly still buy, and then you would own those forever. Absolutely. And so what we'll actually work on next week is we're going to do a post-apocalyptic scene. We're going to be using the new Abandoned Places and Abandoned Places 2, which will be coming out this next month, right around the corner. And we'll be able to. We're going to create a really cool. I want to do kind of like an urban area. It should be super fun. I want to do. There's like an ambulance, and I'm going to put lights on it to make it look like they're flashing or what. Have a lot of fun. Yes, it's all live. All this behavior is currently live, all of it. So an illusory wall, let's see here. Illusory wall only blocks light. So let's create an illusory wall here. An illusory wall. It's going to block all line of sight, but no movement. Yeah, you're very welcome, Bone Shooter. And a secret wall, and this is going to be seen from a toggleable wall from the DM's perspective, right? So here, they're going to look exactly same from the player's point of view. So here is the player, and you can see this is toggleable because I'm in the GM mode, but they can move through this. The player cannot move through the other wall until I open it, and then it has no interaction. So it's like a DM only wall door, whereas this one is just great for like curtains and things that players are going to be able to move through. But it should block vision when it's there. Yeah, absolutely, Raven Master. You can certainly do that. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to call it for today. I'm here every Saturday, or almost every Saturday, at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and we run until just about 6. And we'll go through if there's any changes or anything that is coming up in the image creation area, in the image workspace. I will let you know on a Saturday stream, as well as go over all the new changes that have been released, if any. And we go through all the different art packs. I try to keep you guys informed on what's on the horizon, as well as anything else that's art related. And then we go through and demonstrate and do all the tutorial type stuff. Show you guys how to use the tools and the art packs. And everything that we create here does go up on the Forge. So we already have about 30 or so maps up there that you guys can get for free. You can just download them. You do need to have the art subscription or own the art packs in order to use them. It's just the technical data, the metadata. But all of these maps that we make, you guys will have complete access to. Yeah, there is that already, Bruno. You can mask out anything you need. Yeah, you're very welcome, Bruno. But yeah, you can already do that. So if we set up ambient lighting, for example. Let's do sunlight, right? Let's turn our lighting on. In this tab here, you'll see that we can create a mask. And so now I can mask out an area where that lighting doesn't go. No, I create all the art assets. I do all of the, I do most everything that is image related for Finalizing. So I create themes, I create all of the themes that we release, I create all of the art packs, I do a lot of other stuff as well, so yeah. So yeah, you can already do this. I don't know if I'm the creator supreme, but I do make a lot of images. Each art pack has usually a lot in them. All right, well, great guys. Thank you so much. And if ever there is anything that I can do, or if there's something that you'd like for me to cover on the stream, just let me know, and I'm more than happy to accommodate. I will do whatever I can to help you guys out. So thanks, guys, and we will see you this next Saturday. Have a great week, everyone. Have a wonderful Halloween. It's a great time of year. All right, everybody.